the third episode of FAD. I'm going to deal a little with about the national design policy, especially since a decade has passed since February 2007, when the first national design policy was approved by the cabinet, and we are already a decade old in that policy. And I hear that the government quarters have started thinking about the second edition of the national design policy. Especially, they have talked about giving focus to certain sectors like electronics and defense. Whether there should be a sectoral focus or not, it's a different moot question. I'm not going to look at that at this point. The crucial Ahmedabad Declaration in 1979, which was a call for design for development, was sort of the first time India came into the thinking process about a national design policy. It was also a policy which they have been advocating for design for industry and design for the poor. That is why the policy focused on creating an industrial economy which will lead to more prosperity and more distribution of wealth, so that the majority of poor could become the majority middle class or majority better living people with quality of life. Now, Ahmedabad Declaration was a very purposeful declaration. It followed from the 1977 discussion between NID and the ICSID. And then in 1979, the UNIDO and the ICSID and the NID assembled in a historic conference. And one of the anecdotes is that the auditorium which was used for the UNIDO conference did not have a roof at that point in time. And once the conference was finalized, the roof had to be fabricated with dark black cloth and various kind of jugaad. And the historic conference took place in a auditorium which had a roof which was put in a hurry. In the fallout of the 1979 declaration was quite good for people becoming conscious, but it also had a fallout for NID. I think the process of creating a national design policy was always felt to be a process which required a lot of consensus between government, between industry, the stakeholders like the designers, the design users, the consumers, the education institutions, the researchers. So it never gelled and coalesced, and therefore it became a question of a complete sort of cacophony, which resulted in a breakaway group of NID faculty going and setting up the Industrial Design Center in IIT Mumbai, which almost led to a historic conflict between the two institutions for a long time. And I am told that the people from NID never used to go to IIT Mumbai, and IIT Mumbai never used to visit Ahmedabad NID. I think I saw the process still almost current when I took over in June 2000. There was a hesitance when we were trying to call some of the faculty members from IIT Mumbai to come to NID for certain functions. That apart, that kind of a chasm and that kind of a very vexed and checkered history sort of made me feel very anxious to look at national design policy. And if you look at the press archives, you will see that even in the first design summit, which was forced upon the CII at that point in time by calling on at that point in time Mr. Srinivas, who was there in the office of CII in Bangalore, and pressing him to attach a one day to the quality summit or the design summit, where we talked about for the first time that we must bring out a new national or a first national design policy. Thereafter, it has been a harrowing experience of the process of people writing very strong letters about how that process has to be and what national policy should be, and I knew that it was going to be opening a can of worms as well as probably opening up a big controversy. However, we had to do that because the country at that point in time, if you look at, there was already information rich and information poor, and there was already money rich and money poor. There was already a urban and rural divide. There was already the agrarian economy giving way to industrial, and then jumping into IT economy. It was not yet the knowledge and information and innovation economy, which was still far. And we had seen that, a lot of changes were happening in the world. The USSR had already broken down, and we had the process of economic liberalization gaining pace. All that was leading to a situation where a national design policy, not only for the industrial design for the industry, but also for society as a powerful tool for social empowerment and change, became almost an essential requirement. However, how do we go about it? It always, I feel, there should be a conspiracy of circumstances or a serendipitous event which will lead to policy. And it was, it was one of the events which happened in the Vigyan Bhavan in Delhi, where the then Commerce and Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, or Commerce and Industry Minister at that point in time, made an announcement based on the draft speech which we had given to him, that he will certainly work on a national design policy. And thereafter, we must thank the recently superannuated Chief Secretary of Madhya Pradesh government, who was at that time in the ministry, who really played a major role in helping with the process, Mr. Anthony Diza, and the joint secretaries thereafter, Mr. Prasad and Ahmed, and the various DIPP officials, who we had started to work with this process. And we believe that there should be stakeholders meeting. We held one in Delhi, one in Mumbai, one in Bangalore, and then we circulated the questionnaires across various design organizations, and came out with a very simple national design policy. And if you see the result of that, we could take pride that after the policy was announced, the India Design Council came about almost at the end of 2008, the draft getting ready, the notification, and early 2009 the notification was made. The policy mentioned about India Design Mark, which was one of the first things which the Indian India Design Council took up. At the same time, it had also talked about 4 NIDs, out of which 2 have already become functional, one in Vijayawada and one in Kurukshetra, and 2 more are in the offing. And the NID either becoming a national university or an institute of national importance. It has already become an institute of national importance, and it is already awarding degrees.